Okay, Steve, I've done a lot of thinking about this, and I am just as sure as I was before that I'm in the right. So, yeah, I'm still mad.
What the? Why are you texting me that you're angry all of a sudden?
This isn't sudden, and you know it. I'm talking about what happened today when we went to your parents' house for dinner.
Yeah, sorry, nothing's ringing a bell. What was there for you to get mad about? My mom's cooking was just as good as always, wasn't it? Way better than yours at any rate.
This isn't some kind of cooking contest, and you're no Chef Ramsay. But if Chef Ramsay did happen to be in the dining room this evening, I think he'd have something particularly vulgar to say about the fact that your mom served my food on the floor. And it wasn't even some kind of floor night either. Everyone else got their plates on the table.
Oh, that... I remember now. That was just my mom being her usual jokester self. She's saying that the food you cook is only fit for dogs, so you should eat on the floor. Get it?
No, I don't get it. That's not even a joke. It's just a strained jab at me. It doesn't even make sense either. Why would she joke about my food by putting the food she cooked on the floor? Even if she had somehow managed to pull off a joke along that line, the fact still remains that it is not okay to joke about things like that. I've been thinking this for a long time, and it's time we had this talk. Your mom hates me. She goes out of her way to be cruel to me at every opportunity. Why does she treat me like this, Steve?
Hey, don't you dare talk about my mom like that. She's not some stereotypical overbearing mother-in-law. One more word like that, and so help me God, I'll divorce you, Tammy.
What? Steve, why aren't you taking my side? Anyone could see that your mother's behavior is completely out of line. You're lucky your dad wasn't there. I don't think he'd like your mother's joke very much.
Yeah. Dad can be such a buzzkill. He just doesn't get Mom's subtle humor.
What precisely is subtle about placing my plate on the floor and telling me to eat like a dog?
Well, maybe if you would try having some self-awareness for a change, Mom wouldn't have to be so heavy-handed with her humor.
Self-awareness? What could you possibly be referring to?
Seriously? You don't know? We have a very good reason to be upset at you. You've been nothing but a housewife ever since we got married. You've had all these years to get better at doing stuff like cooking, cleaning, that sort of thing, but you're still an absolutely abysmal cook. I can't think of a single dish you've made for me that was satisfying.
I'm doing my best.
If that's actually your best, then yikes. I'm never unsatisfied with my mom's cooking. Seriously, you only have 2 responsibilities in your life. Keep my house clean and keep my stomach happy. But you are failing miserably at both of those. I give my all for you every single day at the office. Don't you appreciate what I do for you at all? All the nights I come home close to midnight, exhausted and hungry, does that mean nothing to you?
Of course it means something to me. I really, really appreciate how hard you work to support our family. But Steve, right now we're talking about your mother's mean-spirited behavior toward me, and you're not taking it seriously.
Mean-spirited? Hardly. Mom was giving you a super exclusive seat. The best seat in the house, actually. No one else gets to eat their food on the floor. I was jealous watching you wipe the dust off of your silverware. Oh, but the best part was when Mom stood up from her seat and knocked your cup of wine all over your plate. I laughed so hard I thought I was gonna puke.
Yeah, I remember that. I don't think I'll ever be able to get the image of you laughing at her cruelty out of my mind.
For God's sake, Tammy, would you get over yourself? I laughed because it was funny. It's not my fault that you don't have a sense of humor.
I am done with this conversation. Nothing I say is going to get through to you.
Yeah, that's because I'm right. Anyway, the easiest solution to your supposed problem is to just become a better cook. You need to learn to make food that's so good, it'll make me want to leave work early just to eat it while it's fresh out of the oven. That, and you need to do a better job of keeping the house clean. You aren't anywhere close to meeting my cleanliness standards.
I'll get right on that, Your Majesty.
Good evening, Tammy, my dear. I heard you came by the house today. I'm terribly sorry I missed you. I had some work to finish up at the office.
Oh, that's all right, Dad. It's work. You can't help that. We'll come and see you another time.
I'll hold you to that promise. You know there's nothing I love more than a nice evening chatting with my darling daughter-in-law. So how was dinner?
It was delicious, as usual. Your wife is quite the cook.
Well, yes, she is, but that's not what I was talking about. Was everything all right?
What do you mean?
I'm talking about my wife and son.
Oh, yeah, them. Don't worry about it. Nothing too out of the ordinary happened.
If you say so. You know, I don't think I'm telling you thank you enough for all you do for us.
Oh, you don't need to thank me. All I want is for you, your wife, and Steve to be healthy and happy for as long as possible.
Speaking of my son, has he been showing you his appreciation lately?
Yeah, I suppose, in his own way.
That's a no. I knew I shouldn't have let him off so easily the last time I caught him criticizing you. I'll be sure to give him a stern talking to the next time I get the chance. I mean, you're the one who does all the cleaning, the laundry, and the dishwashing at our house. My wife is a hell of a cook, I'll give her that, but she hates doing chores. And you, Tammy, you're a real lifesaver, you know that.
Lifesaver is a bit of an exaggeration, I'd say. All I'm doing is helping out where I can show you how much I appreciate you accepting a woman like me into your family. I'm not always pleased with the way your wife treats me, I hate to say, but I've always been able to count on you. You've even stood up to the two of them for me. It's thanks to your presence in this family that I'm able to stay sane.
Nonsense. You're a stronger girl than you give yourself credit for. And let me tell you, you marrying my son was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Wow, do you really mean that?
Definitely. If not for you, our house would be appearing on the next episode of Hoarders. Until you came around, you know who was stuck doing all the cleaning around here? Me. But it was getting to be far too much for me. I couldn't keep going on like that for much longer. Just about every night I would get home from work at around 7 in the evening just to have a massive pile of dishes waiting for me to wash.
Well, I'm glad that at least one person in your family appreciates me.
Tammy, there's something off about you tonight. Something happened when you were at the house earlier, am I right?
It wasn't that big of a deal. Your wife sort of played a prank on me, I guess.
She did?
Yeah, and Steve thought it was the funniest thing he'd ever seen. He even defended her when I tried to call her out.
I knew it. I want to know exactly what happened today, Tammy. Tell me the whole story.
All right, I'll start from the beginning.
I want lasagna for dinner tonight. Mom made an absolutely insane lasagna at her house yesterday. It reminded me that lasagna can actually taste good. Your lasagna tastes like cardboard with water sauce. So you can make me a proper lasagna tonight to apologize for your behavior yesterday.
Wait just 1 second. I already made dinner for tonight, and it's already 5. Do you have any idea how long it takes to make lasagna? There's no way I'll be able to make one from scratch. I'll have to run out to the store and get a pre-made frozen one.
Okay, then I don't see what your problem is. Throw away whatever slop you already made, run out to the store and buy me some lasagna. Honestly, I bet any pre-made frozen food would taste better than anything you make.
Don't you talk to me that way, Steve. I work hard every day to make good food for you.
If you think the food you serve to me is good, then I think your taste buds must be made of rubber. Seriously, what is your problem? I literally only married you because I thought you would make a good housewife.
What?
So if this is really the best that you can do, then holy smoke, I have made a huge mistake.
Steve, what are you saying? Or are you being serious right now, or is this another one of your jokes?
If I was joking, I'd be laughing. I'm just pissed off right now. If I didn't think that you would be a good housewife, I never would have married you. You probably never appreciated this, but I was a pretty popular guy in my heyday. Didn't you ever think about how odd it was that an extremely eligible bachelor like me would settle for marrying you? It was only because I thought you had the potential to be a good homemaker. But now that we're married, what do I find? That you can't even fulfill the only task I ever expected you to. I feel like I'm the victim of some kind of elaborate con job.
I am not just doing all the cooking and cleaning for our house. I'm doing all the cooking for your parents as well. And you're really going to stand there and tell me that I'm a lousy homemaker?
Wow, so you're incompetent and stupid? You're my freaking wife, Tammy. It's your job to do everything that I say and everything that my parents say. That's in the job description. But we can talk about your awful cleaning another time. Let's focus on what a lousy cook you are now. My mom could make something 100 times better than your best dish with just salt and pepper for seasoning.
Just salt and pepper? Do you have any idea how much seasoning your mom puts into her dishes? She basically just dumps a full jar of salt into everything she makes. And everything in her repertoire is upwards of 1,500 calories per serving. Not to mention, I don't think she knows the first thing about making a nutritionally balanced meal.
I've told you before, Tammy, do not insult my mom's cooking. And I mean nutritional balance? What good is a nutritionally balanced meal if it tastes like crap? The entire point of food is that it tastes good. That's like the most important thing about cooking. God, what was I thinking marrying you? You're lucky that my mom and I have put up with you for as long as we have. But I'm not going to be as lenient on you from now on. Starting tomorrow, you are going to clean both our house and my parents' house from top to bottom every single day. And when you're done with that, you're going to have my mom give you cooking lessons.
You want me to do that every day? Steve, they live almost an hour away by car.
Yeah, and? What else are you going to do during the day? Nothing? Yeah, that's what I thought. I've never met someone who was so useless and yet so entitled as you.
I will not allow you to talk to me like that, Steve. I am your wife, and I demand that you treat me as such.
You are my wife, and so I, your husband, demand that you do exactly as I say. And if you don't like it, then I demand that you eat your food off the floor like the dog you are. You don't deserve to eat at the table that I bought with my hard-earned money.
So this is how you really feel about me, huh, Steve?
Yeah? And what of it? You got something to say?
Yeah, I got a few things in mind, but I'll keep it short for now. I will not put up with your treatment of me any longer. Come tomorrow, you will regret this.
For the love of God, Tammy, will you just knock off the sanctimony? You think you have the right to act all incensed at me over something like this? Well, think again.
I've thought more than enough about what I'm going to do next, and my mind is made up.
You've been pretty quiet ever since you made your big "you'll regret this" speech last night. I guess I'll take that to mean you've wisened up and realized that you're in no position to do anything to me. Now, make sure you have dinner ready and on the table by the time I get home. That frozen lasagna you heated up yesterday was the best thing you've made for me in ages. But if all you're gonna do is buy stuff from the store, then I don't have any reason to keep you around, now do I? So, your assignment for today is to make me a decent meal from scratch. And if I'm not completely satisfied, I'll throw it out in the trash. And after that, I'll throw you out onto the curb.
Do you have any requests?
You're joking, right? We've been married this long and you still don't know what food I like? I shouldn't have to make a request. You should simply know what I want to eat. I once had a subordinate just like you. She was completely useless. The only way she knew what she needed to do was if someone gave her a bullet point list every day. I fired her as soon as I could.
Yeah, well, I'm not your employee, and I'm also not a mind reader. Why don't you just come right out and tell me what you want?
Because your job as my wife is to be able to make the right food for me without needing to ask me. And for the record, you are my employee. I'm paying you with food, shelter, and being married to the best man and woman like you could ever hope for. So hurry up and do your job, or I'll fire you just like I fired my useless subordinate.
Understood. Hey there, Steve. What's the matter all of a sudden, honey? Your food is ready.
Shut up. I'm not talking to you. And I am not leaving my office.
But I don't understand. What's the matter? I made spaghetti for you. You like spaghetti, don't you?
Are you mocking me? You're mocking me, aren't you?
Me? Mock you? Why, darling, perish the thought.
Oh, so you're not mocking me, huh? Then would you mind telling me why you put my food on the floor? You didn't even put it on a plate. What's the matter with you?
But Steve, don't you remember what you said to me when we had dinner with your mom a few nights ago? She served my food on the floor that day, just like I did for you tonight. I distinctly remember you telling me that it was a special seat, the best seat in the house, in fact.
Yeah, the best seat for you. I'm not some sort of servant. I'm too good to eat on the floor. But you are a different story entirely. Eating off the floor is more than what a lousy housemaker like you deserves.
My goodness, Steve, you stepped up your insensitive language to a whole new level. I tried my hardest to give you a meal that would satisfy you tonight.
Yeah, well, trying isn't good enough. I worked at the office all day today to bring home the bacon. I'm tired of dealing with my overbearing bosses and incompetent underlings. And this is how you treat me? I was right. You're not grateful to me at all.
You want to talk about gratitude, Steve? Well, okay then, let's have a little talk about gratitude. Ever since we've been married, no matter what I have done for you, you have done nothing but complain. This food isn't good enough. The floor isn't clean enough. You folded my shirts the wrong way. Have you ever complimented me for a job well done? Not as far as I can remember. I am not some servant that you can use as you wish. I am a human being, and I have the right to be treated with respect. You can't just say whatever you want to me. I have had to deal with your constant abuse and scorn every day. Do you have any idea how much that hurts?
Oh, come on. You're overreacting. Abuse? Scorn? All I've ever done is encourage you to work harder. Don't you want to be able to live up to my expectations? How will you ever do that if I don't make it clear what my expectations are? If a maid forgets to dust the furniture, don't you think their boss would tell them about that?
I am not your maid, Steve. I do what I do because I love you. I wanted to support you for working so hard to provide for me. And if you're not happy with the way I do that, then why don't you go ahead and hire a real maid to boss around?
Don't take everything so literally. It was just a metaphor, for crying out loud.
Anyway, that spaghetti on the kitchen floor is your dinner. If you don't want it, then I'll throw it away. Or you could always stop being a sniveling little coward, come out of your office and face me like a man.
Hey, you can't talk to me like that.
Oh, can't I? What are you going to do about it, huh? Go crying to your mommy like always? Go right ahead. Be my guest. She already hates me as much as anyone ever could. Nothing you tell her is going to have much of an impact on me.
Oh, yeah? Then I guess I'll go ahead and tell my dad.
You're gonna tell your dad?
That's right. I have no idea why, but my dad's always had a sweet spot for you. He only ever takes your side when Mom and I simply point out yet another one of your failures. But if my dad knew the way you were talking to me now, I don't think he'll be so fond of you anymore. I'm gonna turn him against you, and then you'll have no one left to defend you in this family. So if you're gonna apologize, you had better do it pretty damn quickly.
There's no possible way I'm going to apologize to you.
Is that so?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't done anything to apologize for. And it's ironic, but I think I actually know your dad a lot better than you do. I highly doubt he's going to take your side.
You can't possibly think that. I'm his son, his firstborn. You're just a daughter-in-law. He's gonna believe me for sure.
If you really think so, then go ahead and talk to him. Anyway, I suggest you hurry up and eat your spaghetti soon. It's gonna get cold.
Shut up about the frickin' spaghetti! Go ahead and throw it away. I'll just order something delivered to the house. Now, if I were you, I'd be very concerned for my future right about now. I might even start packing my bags. Dad, you gotta listen to me. It's Tammy. She's gone totally insane. What seems to be the problem, son? If this is about marital problems, I don't know if it's my place to come between you and your wife. Are you sure you want to involve me? Just listen, okay? Do you know what that woman did with my dinner tonight? She put it on the floor. She's treating me like some kind of animal, Dad. Isn't that awful? I don't know what to do with her anymore, Dad. She won't listen to a word I say. Do you think you could talk to her for me? I don't think Tammy is the kind of girl who'd do a thing like that. Without a very good reason, that is. You only say that because you don't know how she is at home. She's always saying terrible, horrible things about me and Mom. Sure, when you're around, she always acts like a sweet and innocent little princess, but that's all an act. So, you're upset that she served you dinner on the floor, are you? I'd say what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Huh? What do you mean? I mean, isn't that exactly what you and your mother did to her? But, wait. I'm not waiting. I asked you a question, and I expect an answer. Your mother did the exact same thing to her the other day, didn't she? Dad, why do you know about that? Do you even need to ask? Tammy told me everything. She did? But Dad, she's lying. She's just trying to turn you against me. Is that a fact? Then you'll have to explain why your mother admitted the whole thing. What? She did? Why? Because I told her I'd divorce her if she didn't tell me the truth. I had never been more disappointed in her in our entire married life. And the same goes for you. Dad, please, wait. The thing with putting her food on the floor, that was all Mom's idea. And did you put a stop to it? No. You laughed right along with her and even defended her. That makes you an accomplice. Okay, maybe Mom went a little too far. But this is all because Tammy is a bad cook. Are you saying this is some kind of punishment? Well, I mean, yeah. Kinda. You really are a foolish boy, Steve. You've had issues with high blood pressure since you were younger, right? Back when you lived at home, your high blood pressure always caused terrible migraines. Tell me, how's your condition been these days? I guess I've been doing pretty well, now that you mention it. And do you know what? It's because Tammy has been making you low-sodium meals to help with your high blood pressure. Wait, really? What's that mean? Sodium means salt, you ignoramus. Your mother's food is always chock full of salt. I can be honest and admit that her food is pretty doggone good, but if you ask me if it's healthy, not so much. Tammy is concerned about your health and mine, unlike your mother. I never knew. No, I don't believe you did, but it's the truth. And I think you've been insulting her for her cooking. I don't ever want to hear you saying one negative thing about that girl ever again. She is the best woman a man like you could ever hope to marry. So you've really been making me food that's good for my health?
You really didn't notice? I heard from your dad that you had high blood pressure since you were a kid. So before we got married, I studied up on what kinds of food are good for lowering blood pressure. It was really hard to find a good variety of low-sodium food, and I knew that none of the options would be able to give you that full flavor that you're used to from your mom's cooking. But I still wanted to at least try to satisfy you. And then you told me that store-bought food was better than mine.
Hey, that's not what I really meant. I just thought, hey, sometimes store-bought food ain't bad. Do you get me?
Steve, don't even bother trying to come up with an excuse for yourself. You're free now. From now on, you can eat whatever you want, whenever you want.
Come on, Tammy, don't talk like that. I get it now. You're being incredibly thoughtful of my health and your cooking. The spaghetti you made was low sodium or whatever, too, right? I'll come out to the kitchen now. Let's have dinner together, okay?
Together? With you? Not a chance.
Please, Tammy, don't get mad at me. You want me to eat off the floor? I'll do it. Will that make you happy?
Nothing you do will ever make me happy again. When you let it slip that you see me as nothing but a maid, that was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Then, what am I supposed to do? You want me to apologize or something?
I already told you, don't waste your time. I took your advice from earlier and packed my bags. I'm leaving, and I am never coming back.
What? No way! You can't be serious!
I'm dead serious, Steve. I want a divorce. And to that point, I left the business card for my lawyer on the table. Call him at your earliest convenience. He'll tell you what you need to do next.
This can't be happening. You're out of your mind. You can't divorce me over a minor little squabble like this.
It might be minor to you, but for me, it's completely unforgivable.
Tabby, please wait. Let's talk about this. I mean, what are you going to do from now on? You don't have a job. How will you support yourself?
Don't worry about me. Thanks to you, I've become something of a professional at cooking low-sodium food. I started a social media account dedicated to low-sodium cooking, and it's grown pretty popular. Popular enough to make good money from it. So my finances are secure without you. Thank you very much.
No way. So you're really divorcing me?
Yes, and my mind is made up. Nothing you say can move me now.
Well, then, fine. Be that way. I don't need you. You want a divorce? Great. It's gonna be great without you around here.
Really? I'm happy for you.
Plus, that means I'm gonna be single again. Sweet! And since I only have to support myself, that means I can spend more money on me.
I don't think you're going to have much left when I'm through with you.
What are you saying?
I'm saying I'm going to wipe you out in the divorce.
But why, though? Like, what did I ever do to you? You're the one that wants to get divorced.
Yes, but that's your fault.
What? How is it my fault that you're walking out on me?
Lily is a lovely girl, isn't she? And young, too. Younger than me, anyway. How long has she worked underneath you? 6 months? Oh, and she's been your subordinate at your company for even longer.
Uh-oh.
And you've even taken her to meet your mother, haven't you? My understanding is that you've been telling her that you'll marry her someday? Is that the reason your mom's abuse has stepped up the last few months? Is she eager to get me out of the way to get the new model of daughter-in-law she wants?
How, Tammy? How did you know?
Do you think I'm a complete moron? I've known for a long time. The reason I haven't left you yet is because I had faith you'd come back to me. A faith that I've now lost. I'll see you and Lily in court. Oh, and I'll also be reporting this indiscretion to your company.
Please don't. I'll break up with her. I'll never see her again. So please forgive me. I don't know what I'll do without you.
Go cry to your mom for pity like usual? Nothing you say is going to save you from what's coming. You didn't like my cooking? Well, I hope you're ready for your just desserts.
Well, are you all moved out yet?
Yep, I'm at my parents' house right now. I think I'll live with them until I find a new place.
Glad to hear you're safe, Tammy. I'm really sorry about everything that you had to go through.
No, don't apologize. You didn't do anything wrong. Everything that happened is the fault of your wife and son. Speaking of which, do you mind if I ask you what you're planning to do now?
I'm moving out of my house as well. I can't stand to be around her right now. I'll decide on my long-term plans once I've had some time to think.
I see. Hey, I'm divorcing Steve, but is it okay if I still call you Dad?
Tammy, there would be no greater honor for me than to go to the grave having you call me Dad.
Awesome. I've called you Dad for so long, I think it would be weird to start calling you Dawn all of a sudden. Okay, so tell me when you know your new address, okay? I'll come over and cook for you sometime.
Wonderful. I didn't have much luck with my son, but I'm glad to have a daughter like you, Tammy.
We're divorced a short time later. Just like I promised, I took him to the cleaners in the divorce proceedings. I also sued Lily because apparently she had taken some of my underwear and cosmetics. It was only a couple $1,000 worth of stuff, but I just couldn't take that lying down. I also told their company about their sordid affairs. Steve was demoted for having an inappropriate relationship with a direct subordinate. It's safe to say his path to advancement has been made much more difficult. Lily wasn't punished, but she was so humiliated that she quit voluntarily. Steve, however, is stuck in his job no matter how much he wants to quit. If he loses this job, he'll have no way to make his sizable alimony payments to me. He's living alone now, and since he can't cook to save his life, he has no choice but to buy pre-made stuff from the store. You know what that means, high-calorie foods with low nutritional content and high sodium. That, combined with the stress of his work environment, brought back his high blood pressure and, as a result, his headaches. He's going to the hospital a few times a month now because of an excruciating migraine. As for me, I'm currently living in a new house and getting my new life started. I'm on good terms with Don, or as I call him, Dad. His birthday's coming up and we're going to have a little party, just the two of us. I love cooking for him. He's always so grateful to me for what I do. Now that I don't have to cook for Steve anymore, I can focus on learning to cook things that he likes now.